Have you ever thought to yourself, hey, I really like walking through tight enclosed spaces with very little light and weird alien monster things trying to chase me down all the time? Well then, Tunnels, this is the game for you. Tunnels is an exploration, adventure, horror kind of experience. It's a game in which you are drawn along a linear path, crawling through tunnels, and trying to avoid being caught by creepy things that exist in these tunnels. The gameplay is pretty straightforward, and actually the onboarding in this game is some of the best I've ever seen. In the first 10 minutes, you'll learn everything that you need to know. You'll learn about climbing ropes and climbing walls, general movement, running. You'll learn about the enemies that you might face and how to deal with them, kind of. It doesn't tell you everything, there's still some stuff to figure out. But generally speaking, in those first few minutes, you will understand exactly what this game is and what you need to be doing. And this is great because there is a trial version of Tunnels available as well. And this trial version includes this tutorial. It's the first, I can't remember exactly, 2 or 3 chapters of the game in the trial version. And there you'll get a taste for everything that is in this game. So if after watching this review for Tunnels and you're still not sure, then go ahead and download that trial version and try it out for yourself. But when you do experience it for yourself, be sure to be playing this in an environment where you have some space. While Tunnels isn't particularly demanding on stretching out your limbs or engaging in combat or anything similar, it is a game that turns you around a lot. So you'll often find that you'll be playing for 15 minutes, begin facing one direction, and by the end of those 15 minutes, you have no idea which direction in your room you're actually facing. It's quite a captivating experience, although the graphics aren't exactly incredible. Because it's only rendering a very small amount at any one time, it is very immersive. You are genuinely believing that this tiny little hole is where you are. You have to crawl through it. And you could easily just stand up or turn around or whatever is in real life. But the game is so claustrophobic, it genuinely makes you feel like if I stand up here, I'm going to hit my head. I can't maneuver my body in this tunnel because it's too tight a space. And that's quite something. Games in VR are often trying to reach this like heightened immersion that the VR that offers. But Tunnels actually does it, and does it really well. The game doesn't feature any kind of combat or anything similar, at least not in what we've experienced both in the single player and the multiplayer, and more on that multiplayer in a minute. What it is kind of like Alien Isolation Light. There is a predator that's trying to trace you down, and you can avoid it as best you can or use your torch to essentially scare it. Now this only has limited capability. If you're not quick getting that torch out when you see the creature, it's going to come for you. And what's more, even after you have scared it, don't expect it to be gone. It can quickly come up behind you, and that is very unfortunate. Because of the fact that your maneuverability is very limited in these tunnels, you'll often find yourself in a situation where it's like, I know this thing's behind me and I know I'm about to die, but there's nothing I can do about it. Which is a shame, because for the most part, Tunnels does make you feel like you are in this environment and you have to use your wits in order to overcome the challenges ahead of you. Be they maneuvering, be they exploring, or be they facing off a weird alien monster thing. So Tunnels, the adventure, the single player adventure mode, is a linear experience. You'll go through a significant amount of chapters from start to finish, and the gameplay slowly expands over time. As I say, that onboarding, that initial tutorial teaches you about climbing and running and so on, but more elements do come into play as you go. It's not a simple case of here's a wall, I must climb it. Sometimes you have options as to which path you're going to take. And more often than not, the path that you choose will be determined on where that enemy is placed. There is some sort of randomization system that I found in that when they get to you and you respawn at a checkpoint, you can go the same path and it might not be there this time, instead lurking around a different corner. So you do have to constantly keep your wits about you. And the same can be said of the multiplayer game. Now the multiplayer is interesting. It's a very simple repurposing of the design, but now you're given objectives. Rather than it being a linear path for you to follow, you and your teammates must perform certain objectives in order to progress. For example, there's one level where you must hit switches in order to open a path forward. And you have to decide, is it going to be better for us to each explore individually and potentially find these switches quicker? Or do we need to go together and cover each other's backs because we have a better range on our torches when the two of us are together? And this is a decision that you're going to take every time you go into the adventure. When you're playing with someone who is also very familiar with the game, you might decide, right, okay, let's split up and get through this. But when you're new to the game or playing with someone who is new to the game, you're probably going to want to stick together. It is very easy to get caught off guard in this multiplayer mode. So while Tunnels isn't technically doing anything new, the experience that it offers here is actually quite interesting. It is about being claustrophobic, it is about exploring tunnels, and it is about facing this weird, gribbly monster alien thing in those tunnels. And it is a very immersive experience for while you're doing this. The audio quality and the visuals, as I say, they're not top tier stuff, but they do a really good job of making you feel like you are in this environment. The story, as it expands, is interesting, but honestly, you could placeholder these characters with anyone you like. They're not particularly in depth. You are some sort of engineer guy that's got lost in this tunnel, and you're on radio communication with a guy on the surface who's trying to help you move out, get out the tunnel. As you're going through, you'll reach certain designated safety points, and these will relay the story to you over radio. Again, it's not exactly groundbreaking stuff, but it does a good enough job to keep you interested. Now, of course, Tunnels does have a limited lifespan. Once you've played through that campaign and enjoyed multiplayer mode a little bit, I don't really see there's any reason to come back to it. There are cosmetics to unlock, and you earn daily coins and whatever else to purchase these cosmetics for your multiplayer experience. But I don't think there's enough depth here in order to make you revisit this a year from now. So if you're looking for something a bit different, something a bit challenging, and something to play on your fears of claustrophobia and so on, darkness and whatever it may be, Tunnels is going to deliver a compelling experience for the duration of that campaign and dip into the multiplayer a little bit. But if you want something that's going to become your big new game, the piece that you show to people whenever they come over to your place to try VR, then Tunnels isn't going to be that. Tunnels is going to be an enjoyable but pretty scary experience for the short while the campaign lives. So if that's what you're interested in, then go ahead and pick this one up.